I'm saying let's go. You're saying maybe. Let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I have to jump straight into this story. And I'll tell you why it was traumatizing. So I had to take a shower earlier that day, and when I was in the shower, I saw this little kind of hole in the shower that you can see right there. And then I also started to see these little worms. You can see right there, that's actually like one of the little worms. And there were actually several of them in the shower, and I was really grossed out. It actually takes a lot for me to get grossed out, but I have a whole story. If you haven't seen my pantry organization video, that's exactly why I get grossed out. But anyway, I put the kids to bed and I started scrubbing this bathtub from top to bottom until at least 10 o'clock at night. The grout in our whole shower is discolored. I've tried a few things, but on this day, I just decided to get a formula, which was baking soda, Dawn soap, and hydrogen peroxide. I didn't pay attention to the exact measurements. I just dumped a bunch of it into that yellow bowl and I began scrubbing. Now, usually I have been using a lot of the non-toxic cleaners and all natural cleaners and stuff like that, but I was just determined to get any type of bug or worm or whatever it is out of my shower. I had just completely scrubbed out our shower probably a couple weeks ago, and I didn't plan on doing it this soon because our shower is just really big and it takes forever. I hate scrubbing down the shower. I think I've mentioned that before in videos, but like I said before, was disgusted and needed to do this even if it was going to take me all night.
For the best, live your life with no regrets. Come move your body, hey, come move your body.
After using the hydrogen peroxide, Dawn soap, and baking soda mix, I actually switched over to my Branch Basics all-purpose cleaner with the hydrogen boost. This is what I used the last time I cleaned it, and I really like the way that it smells. This is like an all-natural brand. So after scrubbing everything down, I put some of the all-purpose Branch Basics spray, and then now this is the hydrogen boost or oxidizing boost, and I sprinkled that all over the shower and I let that sit for 20 minutes. The next thing that I'm using all over the grout is the Bissell Steam Shot. I used this on some of the bathroom in an earlier video, and I thought that it really did a good job cleaning the grout. So I am just heating that up, and in the meantime, I'm going to pick up some of the toys in the bathtub. So if you're new here, I'll finally introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom of 2 little girls, and as you can see, we have toys everywhere. And our house is pretty chaotic most of the time, but we have a lot of fun. A lot of you guys have said in the comments that you feel like I'm super down to earth, go with the flow, and that is 100% my personality. I am not the perfect cleaning person or parent or anything like that, but when it comes to my house and cleaning, I definitely don't hold anything back. So if you can't already tell that I'm introducing myself, starting my story with there's worms in my shower, then I hope you get the idea there. But if you're new here and you like these types of videos, then please subscribe. Our community is amazing. I absolutely love each and every one of you guys and all your support. It's just amazing. If you do decide to stick around, leave me a comment and let me know your name, let me know where you're from, and a little bit about you.
Are you still in my arms when we've read out all the parts?
So right now I have already used the hydrogen peroxide, Dawn soap, and baking soda mix all over the bathroom floor, and then I went over it with the Branch Basics, and now I am using the steam shop to actually go through and steam out the grout areas. So I've already gone through one batch of water, and right now I was trying to refill it, but there was still some steam in there. So actually I went and unplugged it, and when I tried to loosen up the thing, a bunch of steam popped out. So just be sure to be very careful if you have this Bissell steam shot, because I feel like it doesn't hold a whole lot of water. The purpose isn't supposed to use it for a long period of time. So I actually had to unplug everything, let it completely cool down, refill it, and then let it heat back up. So that did take a little bit of time. So right now I'm just going through the bathroom and going over it one more time while I'm waiting for the steam shot to heat up again. But back to the little worm story. So I thought initially that, so we have had tons of rain recently. I am here in Texas, and it's been raining for on and off for like the last 3 weeks or more straight. And we had a little hole in our grout, and I was thinking that maybe some, and we have a ton of those earthworms outside. So I was just thinking that maybe they're getting through. I really wasn't sure. So finally, I asked my husband, Chris, about like what can we do, because I completely cleaned out our entire shower. And then about a few days later, I saw another one again. So he Googled it, and I need to look into it more, but maybe you guys have some advice you can give me as well. But he said that there were called drain flies, and I guess that they come out of the drain and they lay eggs, and then I guess they turn into worms first, and then they turn into flies. But I really just don't know. I know that I spent a good while scrubbing this entire shower and making sure that they were all gone. So if you guys have any idea of what they could be, it's not like an infestation, but there are a few here and there, and they keep coming back. So leave me a comment below, give me some advice, help me out. If you have ever seen these before or experienced them, then let me know how to get rid of them.
Don't be afraid. Just break the chains of your feet.
And while I had everything out that night, I went ahead and used the Branch Basics in our bathtub and just decided to clean that as well.
Get yourself out. It's time to break the rules. We make our way. Turn what we say to memories. Hey.
So the next day or so later, I am picking up the downstairs area. This is actually our dining room area. It kind of leads into the dining room, and I have an office area where I work at, and ever since the pandemic, I had been working from home, and we redid our whole office area. And then over the last, I want to say 6 to 8 months, our office has become a total junk zone, and I've actually moved everything onto the dining room. So I kind of like having the window to look in the front yard and see everything. And after we redid our whole dining room area, I just liked being in that space and working in that space. So this is actually my work area. Our designated office area, which is another bedroom that is downstairs, I think I maybe have only shown it in 1 or 2 videos before, because I plan to kind of clean out the whole space and I haven't gotten to it yet. So I don't feel like I have anything to do in that room until I start that project. So that is the reason why I haven't really shown that area yet. And the other area that I cannot show yet is our closet. Our closet is not ideal. It is a mess, and that is a whole nother project that I want to do as well. But for now, it is a mess. It's going to take me a while to get everything organized in there. So those are probably the 2 areas of my house that eventually I'll show once I begin my projects on that. Our bedroom makeover redo is our next project, or the one that we're kind of currently working on. And one time I asked you guys how long it took for you to complete a project, and some of the responses I got, because our bedroom has been taking almost a year. We started it last summer and we're still not complete. And some of y'all's responses were that you started before you had grandkids, and now your grandkids are 20. It's taking you 4 years to hang a door. Some of you guys just have these crazy responses, and it just makes me feel so much better that I'm not the only one who kind of drags along trying to get projects done, especially, trying to keep the house clean and organized and start a project too.
Hoping you wouldn't change me. Got the same old flaws, be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you.
If you can't already tell, this is the girls' playroom. If you're new here, I have 2 daughters, Sailor, who's 3, and Savannah, who will be 2 next month. And we actually have company coming over for the weekend. So I'm trying to get this playroom organized. That way, because we don't have any extra spare bedrooms, then we just have a blow-up mattress and have our guests kind of stay upstairs. This is also why I am trying to get everything picked up, and nothing says clean your house as fast as possible like it does when you have guests coming over.
I don't know why. Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you.
You're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Fly me up with dreams, the only.
So while I am finishing up the upstairs and before I move downstairs to the kitchen and living room area, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something. So I got a comment one time, and it wasn't intended to be a nice comment, but what happened was it got me thinking about asking for help or being judged for asking for help. So the comment was more along the lines of like, oh, you have a maid before you go and clean your house, or something like that. Basically stating that, if my house is nicer, or whoever has a nicer house automatically assume that they have a maid. So I'm just going to be brutally honest. I used to have a maid. So after I had Savannah, which was my second daughter, I could not keep up with the house. Like, I was really struggling after I had her. Chris worked nights, so I would work all day. Sailor would go to daycare, and then I would pick up both of the girls and then completely be on my own because Chris worked until midnight every single night. I struggled to keep up. I wanted everything clean all of the time, but being a mom the second time around, where they were both under 2 at the same time, I couldn't. I would cry all the time, and Chris just said, why don't you just get a maid and have them, help out? I wanted and felt like I had to do it all, but I did get a maid. I just didn't like... I don't want to say it's wasting money, because a lot of people really, really need that, and it really gives you a lot of your time back, because cleaning, as you know, is so time consuming. But I just felt like it was something that I could do myself, so I just always didn't like spending money on it. We never had a maid growing up or anything like that. So a coworker told me about someone, and I had them come out, and there was still a lot of stuff that I had to clean, so I decided to not use a maid anymore. And then a couple more months went by, and someone else recommended a different maid service to me, and I tried them out, and I really liked them, except that they were a little bit pricey. I did not want to do a weekly service, so I started off with every other week. And the problem is when you have small kids, your house is a disaster all the time. So what ended up happening was I would spend so much time picking up toys and cleaning, and then they would come and do, more of the scrubbing and the deep cleaning. So after a couple weeks, I said, can you just come once a month? Because I felt like I was still cleaning so much, even though they were coming too. So for the next few months, they were coming once a month, helping me out with more of the deep cleaning. And then the pandemic hit. So earlier that year, Chris went back to working day shifts again, and there was no one coming over to help you clean your house. And I just started to slowly manage everything a little bit better. And I've mentioned this before, I didn't start off on YouTube doing cleaning videos. It just kind of, everything just kind of fell into place. And now it is something that I really enjoy. I enjoy creating the content, not so much all of the cleaning, but I definitely enjoy meeting all of you guys, having a community, and creating the content. And I don't have a maid anymore, but the money that I actually save without having a maid, we actually get to do more weekend trips and just enjoy more time doing other things with the family. But what I really want to say with all of this is we should not be judgmental when a mother asks for help. Whether it is asking for help for cleaning or taking over night feedings if you have a newborn, or asking your parents to help babysit, or even if you are feeling just so mentally unstable and you need to ask for outside help, then you should not feel guilty for doing that. You should never feel ashamed for not having it together all of the time. We are not superhumans. We cannot do everything. And if you do need a little bit of help so that you can enjoy doing other things, then you should not feel guilty about it. I used to hate asking Chris for help when our kids were babies. I just felt guilty, like I'm at home, taking care of the kids when I was on maternity leave, so I should be the one getting up. He's got to work, he's got to do all this stuff. And now I am like, I need help and you need to help me because I just cannot hold it together. And I don't feel guilty anymore for doing that. So just remember that we all struggle. We all need help. Asking for help does not make us any weaker. And you'll never know, it could change your life one day. And I really hope that these videos are helpful to you in any way.
Walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, 'cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like love. Tell me if I'm wrong, 'cause it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
So I just vacuumed over our couch and also vacuumed over the rugs. The next thing that I do is use the Tyneco 2-in-1 wet vacuum to vacuum up the hardwoods, and it also mops it at the same time. So I need to get y'all's opinion on something, because I have seen so many other people use just the standard basic mop, and I have never used that kind of mop. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem as easy to me. So I wanted to ask you guys, do you like these types of mops better, or do you like using the other standard type of mop? And before using this, I had a steam mop and I also had a shark mop. And speaking of having help earlier, one thing, when I had my very first maid come out and help me, I only had those two mops, and she said that they don't use that kind, they don't like it. So I had to go out and buy a standard mop, but I've never actually used it. And I see so many people use it, but I absolutely love this. I think that it's so much easier, and I just will still stick to this. But one thing that just happened here is that I did not have the filter in place, so I just vacuumed or wet mopped that whole area, and there wasn't really any water. It wasn't sucking up anything because I forgot to put the filter on. So I had to put the filter on and then go back and re-vacuum up the whole area. But that was my mistake. One more thing, if you do prefer the other standard mop better, let me know why you like it better, because I'm just curious, because I think this is so efficient. So I'm just curious on some different reasons why you guys may like the other type of mop better.
Now, baby, I
Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this too. Baby, you just make me feel crazy.
So whenever I'm done, I just click the self-clean option on the handle, but make sure that you have some solution or water in there. I had to put a little bit more water in there, and basically it sucks all of the debris into the canister, and then it's easy just to dump everything out. So I said earlier that it takes a lot to kind of disgust me. So this brown water is pretty normal. And yes, that is all dog hair. So because this is also a vacuum and a mop, then it's going to pick up all that debris, and you just get used to it. We have those robot vacuums too, and they're not programmed right, so right now they get stuck in everything. But when we ran them every single day, it would just be full. Like every hour they would be jam-packed full.
Like it burns, so give him something worse to kill his head with, make him forget somehow.
So I'm really excited. We got this little nugget couch in. I have seen so many other people have this, and it's like a couch for little kids, and it took me a long time to actually buy one of these because they are a little bit pricey, and Savannah's birthday is next month. So I was looking at, she loves to climb on things, and she likes to climb on the chairs and the counters, and it freaks me out. So I was looking for more like of a jungle gym thing, but they were all wooden, and I didn't want her to like fall off and hurt herself. So this little couch I have seen everywhere. So I finally just purchased it, and it took a long time. I want to say like 10 weeks to come in, but the girls absolutely love it. You can actually do a lot of different things with it. They love to sit on the couch, their own little couch, and watch movies. They will build a little fort with blankets and play underneath as a little hiding spot. And there's so many different things you can do with it. And I'm really glad we got it because their girls love it.
Feel free sometimes, right? What doesn't make you will only make you stronger if you believe it.
So next I'm moving on to do some of the laundry. I am backed up, and I went over to look on my bed and put the laundry on my bed, and I saw this spider. I was pretty freaked out, especially because it was on our bed. So because Chris wasn't home, I got a paper towel and caught it, and during the summertime when it gets really hot, I noticed that we do get a lot more bugs. Now spiders, I know they creep a lot of people out. I don't like them, but they don't bother me as much as cockroaches. I know everyone has to have like the one type of bug that they can't stand, either spiders or even if it's like a snake or something, but mine is 100% cockroaches. I don't know why, because they can't like hurt you or anything. Like spiders can bite you, and they don't really freak me out as much as cockroaches. Maybe it's just the way that they look and the way that they fly. I don't know. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what your one thing that you absolutely can't stand is.
Never mind my dumb heart. It needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Love is like a roller coaster, but I'm trying to hold on. I don't want it to stop.
I started using some of the Method products that you guys recommended, and I saw this Method laundry. I think it just helps freshen up the clothes. I saw it at Target, and I decided to try it out. So you just get like one scoopful, and they're like little tiny beads, I think, and you just dump it into the load. It says that you can use them with any type of washer. So I've been using that, and it does make the clothes come out smelling really nice. I will typically switch it up using some of that, or just using some of the Glamorous Wash and just mixing the Glamorous Wash with regular detergent. Now the Glamorous Wash can get a little bit pricey, which is why I just use like 1 capful of it with the other detergent to make it last longer.
You're dealing with emotions, but I want you to know that you'll always be on my mind, even in the...
Now after the spider situation, I did end up washing my sheets. It was already later in the evening that night, so I waited until the next day. And luckily, I have not seen any other spiders since.
Cope with being so broken, girl, I can't forget about what we...
So one thing that we also have outside is a little garden that Chris is growing. I got this essential oil mix box in my last video, and one of the recipes came with a garden spray. So after we have grown a couple of vegetables, I decided to mix up this garden spray. It's just, it came with a little sprayer, so you fill it up with water, and then I think it was 3 drops of the lemongrass oil. So I made my own little garden spray, and what it does is it helps keep the bugs out of your garden and your plants. So I'm going to walk you outside to our back garden. We did have a compost before where we kind of throw old food and we grow random things. From that, it was a video a couple of months ago. From that video, we actually grew an onion, but Chris had pulled it out already. But this mini tomato plant also grew from us just throwing old tomatoes in the backyard. And there are some of them that are red, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the ones that are red. He also planted a pepper tree, and this is another tomato plant, but it's the larger tomatoes. But do you guys grow anything? This is literally just in our backyard, no special garden. I call it our garden. But leave me a comment below, let me know if you guys grow any types of vegetables. We had already picked a couple peppers earlier, but whenever I was out there, I noticed that there was one pepper kind of hiding behind there, so I went ahead and picked that one as well. Last year, or maybe it was a couple years ago, we actually had like cantaloupe growing, and the birds and the bugs would eat through the cantaloupe. So I really liked this garden spray, and I'm just spraying it all over the plants. That way we don't have any bugs that come and eat the vegetables.
It's where the lights go down, just you and I leaving out the rest. So that I needed you in my...
This tomato plant ended up taking off and growing like crazy. So there are a ton of little tomatoes on there, and I had to kind of dig in there to pick the ones that were red. I've mentioned before that Chris, my husband, is super into gardening and grass. He actually owns a lawn service business and really just enjoys being outdoors and doing all of this kind of stuff. So whenever I was going through the plants, I actually noticed that there was a tomato that either the birds or the bugs already got. So that's why I like to kind of spray the stuff around there so that they don't go and eat all of our tomatoes.
To where we've been.
So with this trip, I got a pretty good amount. I got 4 or 5 tomatoes and a green pepper. My sister also gave us an avocado plant, so literally planted an open avocado, and I'll have to show you guys that one in another video. The tomatoes turned out tasting really good. Now that leads me to the last portion of the video where I'm going to show you guys how to cook up a healthy meal using some of the tomatoes that we picked from the garden. This is actually like a spaghetti bake, and it's low carb because I make it with the spiraled zucchini noodles. This is a super simple recipe, especially for busy moms or if you're just busy in general. And the good thing is that my kids will actually eat it and get some vegetables in. I'm using 93% lean ground turkey. adding some spices. So I added some onions, and now I'm just adding some spices to the turkey mix, all while the oven is preheating to 350 degrees. I didn't realize my camera had stopped recording, but I just added 1 can of tomato sauce into the meat mixture. And next, just in a small glass pan, I'm adding some of the zucchini noodles to the bottom of the dish, and then the meat mixture I'm just adding on top. The next thing I'm going to do is add, it should be about 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese, but I just ended up getting some and just sprinkling it all over the top. And even if it only took me about 15 minutes to make this dinner, my daughter spilt yogurt all over the floor. I know that we can't get anything done without making a mess, which is no big deal. I just wiped it up. But the next thing I'm going to do is just cut up the cherry tomatoes that I picked from our garden. I'm going to add the little tomatoes on top of the cheese. I'm just going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes just to melt the cheese and bake the zucchini a little bit. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you got lots of motivation from this video and also some ideas. Make sure that you're subscribed and click that like button if you enjoyed this video. Now it's time to eat and then clean again, so I'll see you in my next video.